Hey everybody, it's me, MioWare. Wanted to just do a recording of my thoughts once more, just like how I did with the Spider Noir video, Pokemon video, and then we're gonna do a continuation of the Pokemon video, mainly just because, like, I'll be honest, like, when I was doing that video, I just got back from watching Spider-Man 2, good ass movie, I'll admit it, but before then, earlier in that day, in the Pokemon video that I posted, I found out that Bank was shutting down, so it sucked. And then I recorded that, slept on it because I didn't go to bed till like midnight or something. And I was just like in my bed, I'm just trying to sleep, and I'm like, fuck, I can't sleep. And then I just knocked out, and it's like 5 in the morning, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm calling it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And so while I'm editing that and doing all that, I'm still thinking about all this Pokemon stuff, and then I upload it, and then afterwards, I'm thinking about it. I'm looking at it through forums, like through the Pokemon Ribbons Reddit forum, pretty much. And there was this one comment that I found that I think perfectly encapsulates what the main goal we all have is as of now, and it's, if I recall, I might try to look at find it again, but it's like, you don't have time to have time. Somewhere around there, that part, that for whatever reason, that part hit me differently, because I'm like, that's right. We can't, in this time, it's a countdown to like Avengers Doomsday. It's just, we don't have much time left, and the time is now to like start doing stuff. And so that's what I was doing. Where is it? So this is my YouTube, it's essentially my YouTube diary. I'll admit it, Christian, you would call it Excited Crisis GX. That's his YouTube name. Subscribe to him. Boom, there's his YouTube channel. Can't wait for the next AMV video. But yeah, this is my YouTube planner and just things that I write down about like what I've done on YouTube, and I've been doing that since, let me see, when did I start doing this? January 5th of this year. And so just been longer than that. And then, that's where I logged my Pokemon stuff onto here. And, I have a separate tab for it. And let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Let me add my pen in here. Let me get that out of there. So, I want to see, right, can it show it? Yeah, I can show it. So right about here, I just have all my Pokemon ideas. I still got to get to it. I'll admit it. I've been lackluster in Pokemon stuff, which is, I'll be honest, stupid of me to like not do that. Because like, if I'm talking about Pokemon, I should be at least uploading some Pokemon stuff. Because again, I love Pokemon, like still. So not only just from that, but then I started doing Pokemon ideas. So this is like a separate page where I have my Pokemon ideas. And here, let me like read some of these. So Pokemon ideas. So it's just like, check what Pokemon is closer to new generations, and then Ribbon Master them. So essentially just start making videos about those. Or if anything, and this is not a confirmation, it's just me spitballing essentially crackhead ideas. That's what I call them sometimes, because it reminds me of my mom, just like when she says dumb ideas. Not dumb ideas. Ma, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, this might actually get cut out. If it doesn't, then I know why she's gonna beat my ass when the next time she sees me. But sometimes the ideas she has, and Ma, I love you, but sometimes the ideas that you have, I call them crackhead ideas, because they just come out of nowhere and they kind of don't make sense. We just need a little bit of thinking in this too. And then again, I came from you, so I have a bit of that too, along with some other stuff. So, I mean, regardless, just I did make another tab. So down here, sorry, I'm looking through it because I just wrote all this down essentially yesterday to kind of get all my thoughts out of here into this. And so let me read it. So Pokemon closer to Ribbon Master / closer to newer gens. And I was just making a list from like closest to furthest. So I had Tandro here. I'm gonna start showing pictures or probably screenshots or just like a GIF of them. So Tandro, my Dewap, my shiny Dewap. Ava, my shiny Rheon-Nicholas. Am I saying that right, or am I unintentionally saying the N-word? Corneria, my Blaziken. She is almost done. She is ready to head to Gen 6 and 7. I know, Joe, if you're watching this, I know you're cringing at that, because yesterday we were talking about Marvel stuff and he was cringing at that too when he accidentally said it. But my Cornelia, she just needs the legend, like the legend ribbon from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So that I have to make it a priority to get that done. So after that, I can just like start getting Pokemon through Heart Gold and Soul Silver just to beat Red like 57 times. Originally, I thought that I didn't know that you could just refight Red. Hold on, get closer, not closer, further away. I didn't know you could refight him again and again and again. I thought it was more of just like a one and done dude. So I was like, ooh, I'm not sure like how I would do this, because my original plan was to create save states and then just like kind of cycle my Pokemon through that. But then I found out like, oh, you can just fight them again and again. So I'm like, okay, that actually makes it way more easier than to just put save states and then just go through a save file editor and just edit the saves to them, even though they technically beat it. Riptide, my Swampert, he's almost ready. He still needs to get the I think the Pair ability, World ability. I forgot, the ones were at what's the Battle Frontier. That one, I actually did do that one, and I was following the god of Sir Toasty Toes, and dude, that's just hard. Pardon my French, but it is difficult to get through those, because like, he's right, some of these Pokemon, like, I think one of them I had to fight a Pokemon, I'm not sure if it was a Shedinja or if it was a Pokemon with Wonder Guard. It was a Pokemon that had one-hit KO moves, and it was just so difficult. My recommendation, play it on an emulator. If you don't want to play that on an emulator, you know, do with that what you will, but to make it as fast and easy as you can, play it on an emulator, do save states like in between fights. So like, let's say you beat someone, and then before you confirm to fight the next person, save state. That way, should you fail, you can just restart. It's almost like premonitions? Yeah, kind of like premonitions, just like, okay, you can kind of see like what to do after that fight. Because sometimes they do change it up, depending on the Pokemon, somewhat. But it just makes it more convenient and more easier and faster to just get through it. Because again, we're now on borrowed time, so it's just like whatever we got to do to make it quick to get our Pokemon to the new gens. And then Pandora, my Banette, and then Percy, my Charizard. Shiny Charizard. They're both shiny. I should have said that. Same with Riptide. I think there's still some other Pokemon that I have that are shiny and that I'm kind of working on. Those ones don't have big of priority because they're just like. I think, I don't know, it might change my mind, like, you know, later in the year or something, that I might say like, oh, let me just like start shiny hunting for a different Pokemon and stuff like that. And ooh, I also have some good advice too. If like you want a shiny hunt but you don't have the time for that, there's a shiny hunting Discord server that I will link that like you can use for Game Boy Advance, DS. They're kind of working on 3DS. That one's a bit like iffy. It's because I don't know how to put it. It's just a lot more harder to do for 3DS. But at least for those two console emulators, there's a server to where how they can just like play the game for you. So you can just like go off to work and like for 10 hours and just come back, and then hopefully by the time you come back you get a shiny. Sometimes it's not the case, but like most of the time it will just, you know, say, oh, hey, there you go, you got the shiny. And I'm like, yes. And you can get Discord and you can enable like a webhook to give you Discord notifications, because I have that for my own server, my own personal server that I use my friends to like ping me when it says like, oh, you got the shiny Rotom, shiny Giratina, shiny Gibble, stuff like that. Ooh, that reminds me, I gotta get shiny Darkrai. I thought you could get like shiny Arceus from Platinum, so I was having the bot hunting that for like hours, I think for almost 3 days. And then I'm asking into the server, I'm like, hey, is there a chance he can be shiny? And they're like, no. Fuck. I wasted 3 days just for that, and I'm like, god damn. And then I think it's also, hold on, just a little bit off topic to the off topic. I just realized I think there's Pokemon that as much as I do like them, because I have Pokemon Emerald, the original Emerald on cartridge, and when I was looking into that, there was a whole bunch of Pokemon that was in that were shiny, like shiny Registeel or shiny Regice, some other Pokemon like shiny Kyogre, shiny Groudon. I think just the ones that aren't mine, I think I might just transfer those to the new generation so that way they can at least just not stay in limbo. Because I think most of those ones are just stuck there in my Gen 3 cartridge. So just, you know, just because I'm doing the both shiny hunting and ribbon mastering doesn't mean I'm leaving like all the other Pokemon that are still valuable, at least to me. Because I know I still got some, I got like a shiny Zigzagoon, shiny Wurmple, shiny Beautifully. I forgot what other Pokemon do I have? Yeah, so not only just with like trying to ribbon master those Pokemon that I've been working on, I've been also just like putting down on this section, just if I can see that right here. This section, I'm gonna have to invert this like afterwards because it's all reversed over here. Just Pokemon that I want to get to shiny hunt and to ribbon master, and I had to like write it down from like, well, originally it was like from easy to hard / impossible. One of which, at least for the hard and impossible, at least in my eyes, was just the shiny Coliseum Jirachi that you can get with the Coliseum bonus disc. Fun fact, I originally had that. I then sold it. There's a whole bunch of problems with that, but like essentially I probably should have kept it so I could at least maybe just copy the ROM for that and then just sold. Well, I feel like there's probably people who have done that, just like you can probably just like copy the GIF ROM of it so you can just keep going and going and going. Because like the way they get that thing shiny is a hell of a process, because like, so you essentially have to have, so when you start your Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald games, you have to at least you have to get your start, you have to beat May, and that can be a bit of a challenge depending on your Pokemon, depending on the stats of your Pokemon, shit like that. And then you get your Pokedex, and then you're, you know, free to do whatever. So when you get your Pokedex, you can then you can hook up your GBA to your GameCube, and then like it'll say if you have the Coliseum bonus disc, you can use that to like get Jirachi. But the problem is you can only get one Jirachi per save. There's no like, oh, you know, I'll just like release it and then just start again. No, once you have that, you're done. You're done, buddy. And it's just like, bro, come on now. Don't do me like that. So like, I think there's two ways. There's like, now that I'm thinking it, I think there's two ways to do this process, like to at least make it a little more faster. What you could do is like do a save state so before you get it, so because it's always going to be randomly generated and all that. So your chances could be more, not chances, but like the process be more easier to do instead of just like hard resetting and all that. Especially if you're doing it like on your own personal save that you've already like have multiple hours in. So that's like defeats the purpose of trying to get a shiny Jirachi. Second option is like as you try to save, if you like, you know, put your text to slow and it says like now saving, shut off your game. And then it'll say like, oh, like we didn't save it, like an error happened, so we're gonna go back to your previous save. That's before you got Jirachi, and then you just repeat that process. It's kind of like power, you know, you're just messing with the power of your GBA. But I'm like, I don't feel like doing that because I feel like that also messes up your system, because you're just constantly just flicking up electronic switches, inputs, outputs. I don't know. Just thinking of that, but I don't want to do that. Just be like, no. I think I'm gonna do more research for that, because again, as much as I would love a shiny Jirachi, I feel like that might be one of the things I just cannot like put the most time in as of right now. I might do something different, or I might say it differently later on, but I'm just saying thoughts. So the Pokemon that I want to shiny hunt is Poipole from Ultra Sun and Moon, because I just beat that game. I want to say 3 weeks ago, give or take, because I know that's where I finally got access to the battle tree and all that. Do I want to do Ultra Beast? I'm gonna be honest, I don't think so. I mean, no, because I was gonna say, oh, maybe I can go for at least shiny Blacephalon, but I'm like, no, I don't even have Ultra Sun. I only have Ultra Moon, and even then, I'm not really sure. I think I might figure that one out. I'm not sure. I think the only other Pokemon that I want shiny is just like the Rockruff lines. Specifically, so I can get the 3 forms, you know, midday, dusk, and dawn form. Oh, this one's gonna be more interesting. A shiny Shadow Quilava from the Coliseum XD, from Coliseum and XD Yellow Darkness. Originally I was shiny hunting for that, like in the beginning of the game, but and then I'm realizing this is gonna take too long, and it was just like to catch it in the early game was hard as hell. mainly just because, you know, especially because people have done it with like an Espeon, and it's just like, it sucks when both Grimer and Quilava start targeting you, and then you get a critical hit on your Espeon, and then it's just like, no. If anything, I'll go through the game, and then I'll go through the game so I can get the late game Master Ball, because for those who don't know, in Coliseum, at least in Coliseum, once you get to Agate Village, and then you know, do the quest there, or like progress through the story, you get access to a Master Ball. And what you can do is, since the game is double battles, so you have one Pokemon, you know, you have it like, you command to throw a Master Ball at it. So then on your second Pokemon, if you switch the item slot that the Master Ball was in to a different side, or different like, just like switch out from like whatever spot it was in, the game still registers it as a Master Ball being used, but it will not like count as like being like used. So it's like, okay, you're using it, but you still keep it. So it's like you have an infinite Master Ball. And people have called it like the infinite Master Ball glitch. And people have used that to like make speed, I think maybe probably like at least finish up the game a lot more faster when it comes to shadow Pokemon and just like any other Pokemon that you have left, because just like as soon as you see them, Master Ball them, and then just like check if they're shiny. If not, reset. The only shiny shadow Pokemon that I have there in Coliseum was shiny Makuhita. I was just doing that one because I'm like, you know what, it's the easiest, let me just get my toes in the water, and then I finally got it. I have a short on it that I was like geeking out about with my raspy voice. I want it because also I want to do the Hisuian starters from like the original game. So I like, you know, shiny Rowlet from Ultra Sun and Moon, which I have. So I have her up all the way to Legends Arceus, evolved her and all that. And now she's almost a Ribbon Master. She still needs the best friends, or the partner ribbon or whatever, or partner mark. And then same with Tanjiro, I'm gonna evolve him into a Hisuian Samurott. And then same should be with my Quilava, or when I get a Quilava, hopefully shiny. And then I evolve it into the Hisuian type, so they at least all resemble like the OG colors of their generations. So then we have Flaffy from Coliseum, Misdreavus. I was thinking of Mantine, and then I was looking at it because originally I wanted one for a while, but I'm like looking at it, I'm like, no, not hitting it anymore. Dunsparce is a maybe. I'm not sure on that part, just because I think this might be the few ones where I'm like, okay, you know, let's just trim the fat and make this more easier. Because I think with that one, I think if it's shiny, it's almost a guaranteed like 3-segment Dunsparce. Metagross and then Tyranitar, those are the two that I want because I already have names for those. Metagross would be Tungsten, and then Tyranitar would be Gelmir from like Elden Ring, Mount Gelmir. Ursaring, because I could evolve it into Blood Moon Ursaluna, which would be pretty cool. And then I'm thinking of maybe Togekiss, and then maybe, I'm not sure, just with the e-reader Pokemon, that one's a little more tricky because I don't know how to activate the e-reader thing, because technically e-reader was not available for at least the US version of Coliseum. Like, I'm not saying like it wasn't available or it wasn't implemented into the game. It was in the game, but it's just like, because I think e-reader at the time was just like on its downfall, so it's just like they just said, nah, cut it off. But you can still find a way to access it, so I gotta figure that part out. And even then, I'm just like, I'm not sure. Cause that one, I think the only Pokemon I would want is a shiny Scizor, just like Sir Toxie. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I think I had a name. I'd have a name for it, just like Mad Villain or MF Doom, Victor Von Doom. And then shiny Eevee, the starter from Coliseum XD, because it's specifically female, because I'm like, ooh, you know, transfer it over and then just make it into a Sylveon, so it can be like the Pokemon that like has made it through this journey. And then and then this is where we get into the meat potatoes. I know we're 20. Okay, I'm dropping pages from my notebook. We're 22 minutes into this, and you know, I'm yapping all that, but here we're getting to the meat potatoes. So this is where I start writing down, like right here. I'm just like, let me see that. Get a notebook to write all this down. Remember this for YouTube. Yes, silly. Love, past 2. And you got this. And then there's my little signature there. Still working on it. But no, passing was right. I still need to, I gotta put this as a separate notebook, because just putting all of that was like technically is an interesting idea, or interesting ideas to put down. But this is, again, this is for YouTube stuff. This is for other ideas. So that goes over there. That hit my Steam Deck. This past day was Saturday. I'm, hooting and hollering, just playing me in the Hollower, I'll be honest. I went out to a party. I, was talking with my mom, having a conversation with her. And then I'm just back here playing games. And then I just order pizza, and I'm like, you know what? I'm still having all these Pokemon thoughts in my head. Let me get a notebook, let me get a rubber band, let me get a pencil and all that. I have a dedicated notebook to where I can officially start writing down all the Pokemon stuff, at least for the Ribbon Master stuff and the shiny hunting stuff. I might do the shiny hunting stuff maybe separately or maybe together, because I'm not sure about that part. It's still, again, it's just still in my head. I think just to make it more easier for me is probably just to start with Coliseum, because that's gonna be like the hardest thing to get through. At least in my eyes, because I'm like, I think the hardest thing, just maybe gameplay wise, because I have to go through some tedious like battling and all that, because I'll be honest, most of the Pokemon I don't really care for. I don't even care for like the Shadow Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. I don't really care for those, because I already have shiny ones from Gen 3, like Fire Red or Emerald, somewhere in there. So I'm like, I'm okay with like passing up on those. I'm trying to think. Because it would make it more efficient for me to at least get through that game. Not only get through that game, but to get to like the Master Ball, and then try to start shiny hunting the ones that I can't skip. Metagross, Tyranitar, and then after that, I think those are like the few main ones that I want, and I can't skip, because those are like the end games. And then, get to the Team Snag'em hideout to where I can fight Rosso with shiny Shadow Quilava. Because again, I have not encountered it, so therefore I still have the chance to reroll for shinies, but it makes it more easier now that I can catch with a Master Ball. So then hopefully just do that, and then the way that I do it is just, I do it on my computer, and I have like window, like 4 times speed, so that way everything is just like, all right, we gotta go. So it's just like more efficient, and that's how I got my shiny Shadow Makuhita. And hopefully that's how I get my shiny Shadow Quilava. Because again, I really for so long I've wanted a shiny Shadow Quilava and any other shiny Shadow Pokemon, and it's just like, oh, it's such a pain to like do. Because I'll be honest, I've been using the Gen 3 hunter, the shiny bot hunter thing that I was mentioning earlier. Yeah, I've been using that so much so that it's just like the just normal shiny hunting it by itself, like without any help, it's just like, it just makes me feel not appreciated, but I'm just like, God damn, isn't there something can't the game play for me? And I know that's just me essentially whining about it, but I'm like, God, it would be a lot more efficient if it could. But I'm like, no, unfortunately it cannot, but the work must be done, because you don't have time to have time. That's how we really got to look at it. And again, I'll be honest, this is just me thinking of all this, and it's got me thinking just, probably put Fridays as Pokemon Fridays, or if anything, maybe streaming it. I haven't streamed in a minute, and the last time I did a stream, the audio was so bad, or I had audio issues where I couldn't get my friends from like my Discord server, because I was playing with them to get their audio, so you can only just hear me and just me talking about my cookies. That was deleted, and I'm like, that was terrible. I don't think I'm gonna do this again. But I think because of this, I think I might. I would just have to figure that out, just because work. I know I got school in a week, so that's gonna be very interesting. There's just a lot of thoughts in my head, just trying to figure out some stuff, both in life, both out of life. Because again, I still want to do this, and it's just like, I feel like with Pokemon, I feel like it's gonna get more interesting now that I essentially have a clock with the past games, and it's now just like, okay, you need to do this now. And I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any thoughts, you know, advice, or just want to just let it all out there, or whatever, you know, feel free to do that in the comments down there. I'm not sure if we can have comments over here, because I know sometimes you can, I think on mobile, you can just be like, here, you know, come here, just whoop. I don't know. But I think that's pretty much it. I think I might still do more after this video. They might get recorded. Let me see. But until then, I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.